I'm Gorilla Monsoon.
I'm Bobby the Brain Heenan.
And I have no idea what the hell we're doing here.
Does he ever?
Gene, we're recording a promo for a podcast.
What the hell is that?
It's a show where...
Promo, that's where you hype something.
Oh, why don't you be serious?
He asked.
Oh, Heenan, damn it, I know what a promo is. What the hell is a podcast?
It's a show where people, they talk into microphones, usually from their house.
Naked, too.
Stop it.
So, why do they do that?
I'm not sure, really.
Definitely not for the money.
Huh.
Oh.
You better believe it.
So, what's this one called?
Let me see. The Hot Tag Podcast.
Whoopee. Does anyone listen to this?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure
The
someone...
government is testing it as an alternative to the chair.
Will you stop that? That's not nice.
Oh.
It's illegal in 11 states.
Quiet. And welcome to the Hot Tag Podcast.
They're not really naked, are they?
I certainly hope not.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hot Tag Wrestling Show presented by SeatGeek. I'm Chris Francisco. George Rogers is here. George spent the last about 45, 50 seconds terrifying me, had me almost thinking that we were covering a show that we just did last week for a second straight time. And it boggles my mind, actually, George, that I had to remind you that we discussed last week Hogan and Flair kicking off a Nitro when it's been literally cemented into our brains each and every week.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Right. All right. So this week we are covering Raw versus Nitro from February 5th, 1996. Just a quick programming note. For those of you who aren't in the know from something that didn't occur 29 years ago, Monday Night Raw did not have a show on February 12th. So
how dare you not know that in advance?
I know. So next week, we will, I guess, just be covering Monday Nitro.
Good, because it needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed.
It does. I actually was thinking about what pay-per-view is coming up for WCW at this time.
Well, at this point where we are in our reviews, the very next event for them, if you don't count Saturday night, which I don't, is Slamboree.
Slamboree. So
Slamboree is the very next event.
And what date was that? Do you remember?
February 11th, 1996.
Okay, so next week, ladies and gentlemen, we will cover Monday Nitro and 1996's Slamboree pay-per-view. So, George, you're going to have to watch Slamboree 1996.
Oh, shit. What else am I going to do with my time?
And you can watch in your house.
No, I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
I prefer to watch it on the road.
I agree. All right. So real quick, we kind of have to talk about the elephant in the room.
It's not an elephant, Chris. It's the power of WrestleMania. We're on the road, baby.
So what, George and I talked about this a lot, either, in Gorilla or off the air, on the air here.
Backstage on the tour bus.
Yeah, we were pretty much 50-50 in the assumption that John Cena was finally going to turn heel. I mean, just to be transparent with everybody, I think it was after the Royal Rumble, I sent George, and we had numerous phone conversations where I told him this has to be leading. One of these guys are 1,000% going to turn heel before WrestleMania, or else you have completely booked yourself into a mega babyface versus babyface main event at WrestleMania, where you're almost running into the same thing from WrestleMania 18, where the fans are going to choose. And there's no doubt in my mind, George, that they would have chose John Cena.
Absolutely.
And so I think what the WWE did, and I'm so happy that they did it the way that they did, except for that idiot Travis Scott, but that's neither here nor there. I can't control that, whatever. I think they did it the right way. I'm so thrilled that John Cena did what he did. He hinted at it at the Rumble press conference. What was your thoughts on what everyone thought was the impossible to happen actually happened? John Cena is a bad guy.
I mean, I figured whoever was going to win that Elimination Chamber was going to have to be the one to turn heel, because if Cody's the one you turn heel. How do you build him up to get booed in 4 or 5 weeks after he's been getting cheered nonstop? Just him siding with The Rock wasn't going to do it. So I figured it had to be. And then after the chamber match, which was an excellent chamber match, also for those of you who
very
did not
much
see
so.
it. I mean, Elimination Chamber from top to bottom was a damn good show. Like, it's like, all right, we're on the road to WrestleMania. Time to kick this into fourth gear and get shit straight. So we did get some great moments. We got the return of Randy Orton, so we know that's going to lead to Randy Orton, Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, which that's going to be that's going to be beautiful. But when after Cena won the Elimination Chamber, and then Cody came out, I was like, I think I looked at you, I was like, he's not getting out of the ring. And then Rock's music hit, and I was like, Cena didn't get out of the ring. There's a reason why he didn't get out of the ring. And then when it happened, I mean, the crowd went nuts. The crowd loved every aspect of this. And we give Dwayne shit for interjecting himself into WrestleMania, but this, honestly, his involvement helped Cena out and being a heel. So whereas we were like, oh, fucking Dwayne's coming in, he's gonna change it. Then we're like, fuck. It makes sense now.
It does.
So now
it absolutely makes sense.
Where I want to just keep hating on him. It's just like, but he makes sense in the shit that he does. It's a roundabout way because he keeps going back and forth, heel to face, like a Big Show.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get a gauge on him. But when Cody sat there and he was like, I want it all. I want to give you my soul, but the problem is I gave my soul to this ring and these fans a long time ago. Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself, which has become a great meme at this point. And I'm here for all of it. Then him and Cena embrace that hug. And then when Cena looks at Rock, it's like, oh shit, this is it.
Yep.
And then just a one nut shot from Cena and we're all losing.
We're off to the races. Yep.
We're it's fucking go time.
Can I ask you a question? Maybe something that could pop up.
Okay.
So WrestleMania 41 is in Las Vegas. There's a certain Hellraiser that lives in Las Vegas, or he lives in Nevada. He has been very vocal over the last year, including most recently a month ago, that he wants to be involved in WrestleMania if called. You think there's any chance that Cody Rhodes hires the services of one Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Entirely possible. I'm not going to rule it out. And the funny thing is now is I can't say wrestling fans, being WWE fans in 2025, 2024, 2025, ever since Triple H took over, it is crucial to pay attention to the shit that's happening in the background. It's not everything that's right in front of your face.
Right.
Triple H must have been watching Marvel movie after Marvel movie because this man's throwing Easter eggs all over the place like it's Easter.
Yeah,
that's yeah. It's like I'm even disappointed myself. I'm like, yeah, that's just terrible.
Your tone got so much lower as the end of that sentence was arriving.
Yeah,
and you're damn it.
I had all the energy of Sideshow Bob saying that he was directing a movie. Like, oh, which movie? The Hills Have Eyes 3. The Hills Still Have Eyes. It had all of the energy of that.
That's so good.
If you remember till last year when Rock beat the shit out of Cody outside and the trailer in the background had Cena's face on it and people are taking that shot and they're like, oh, it was there the whole time.
Austin was right next to it.
Yeah, if you see that shot uncropped, Austin is on the other side of the WWE logo.
Can you imagine if that's the story that's being told? That it was there a year ago for us to all pay attention to?
Yeah, that would be so fucking insane. I'd be telling Kevin Feige to start calling Triple H to write the next Avengers movie if that's the case. So just give him a script and just let him go. Except Dwayne would end up showing up and saying the hierarchy of Marvel's going to change, and then casts himself as Nova, but then doesn't wear the suit or the helmet.
You're
but
so right.
I don't. Here's the thing, though. I want Cena to win because I want to see how a heel Cena as champ would play out. We've never gotten that. No, heel US champ Cena, maybe like in the early times, but like I saw a stat where it's like Cena was a face for 21 years. It was something like 7,746 days that he was a face.
So insane.
Yeah. So it's like, thank you fans for doing all the legwork because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I want Cena to win, but if that's the case, then you'd have to have Austin fail. But I also don't want to see Austin fail if he comes out. Unless Austin comes out to chase off Rock. That would be something. And then we get and then it's like, all right, now we got a one-on-one Cody and Cena. And then maybe Cena wraps the old chain gang chain around his fist and hits Cody with a new move he's calling the Make-A-Wish.
So here's my opinion on all of this, and I want to say, because I don't want to be a downer to anyone, but there's so many people in the IWC, and clearly people that were born in like 2000 who weren't old enough to understand, that were comparing and saying that this heel turn was bigger than Hulk Hogan's in 1996. I just want to remind everyone, John Cena was a heel for a while, and as the Doctor of Thugonomics, and it's not like it's something that's like brand new. What Hulk Hogan did, and we're going to cover that in a few months, literally turned sports entertainment and pro wrestling upside down. I mean, I'm understating the impact of what Hulk Hogan did. John Cena turning heel now is awesome. It's great because one, I think Cena is at a spot in his career. I mean, obviously it's his last year as an active performer, but I think he's going to be able, if this heel turn is going to last beyond WrestleMania, which many think it won't, but if this lasts beyond WrestleMania, I think he's going to be able to hone in on this so well, and to the point of like the final boss Rock type character, because I just feel like Cena will be so good at it. But to compare it to the NWO formation, with Hulk Hogan turning heel, like, I'm sorry, it's not even close. And the reason why is a lot of us, and George and I said it at the top of the show, a lot of us thought that there was a really good chance that Cena was going to turn heel. It was just going to happen. So, George, I mean, we consider Hogan the GOAT, but we don't like him at all. Can we please put a nip in the bud of stop comparing the two?
Look, I mean, if you want to make the comparison, that's fine, of like your all-time baby faces, making the heel move. But Hogan's heel turn came at a point where it was what he needed to do if he wanted to continue. His heel turn changed the face of the industry. Cena's heel turn isn't going to change the face of the industry. What it's doing, though, is it's finally letting Cena do something that he's always wanted to do. From what I read, this guy has wanted to turn heel so many times, but Vince has constantly shot him down. Now that old man fucking Vince is gone, like, Cena's allowed to do what he wants, and Triple H is probably like, all right, dude, you want to do it? Like, he probably, if anything, he probably gave Cena a blank check and was like, dude, you do whatever you want and we'll support you. Because it's not like Cena is known for missteps. He's not going to go in and he's not going and be like, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to win all the belts. He'd be like, maybe don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's great for this time of year because it's something, I mean, even if like we've seen Cena heel before.
For sure.
But as I said, he's been a face for 21 years. So anybody who's become a wrestling fan within that time does not know heel Cena.
When did he become a babyface?
I think when he won the U.S. title from Big Show,
I think you're. I
which
thought he was
was
a heel for a little bit after that.
I think leading up to that WrestleMania, which would have been WrestleMania 20. Leading up to that WrestleMania, he started to turn face because Big Show became a heel and he was champion. And Cena and Cena actually started getting some face reactions during the 04 Rumble, remember?
Yes, you're right.
Like when he got eliminated, people were, kind of upset about it because he was a favorite and they wanted to see him go. But before that is when he was just running roughshod. He had that feud with the Undertaker, and it wasn't Deadman Taker.
Mm-hmm.
It was American Badass Taker. That was in 2000. That was in 2003.
Right.
So
right. Okay.
I want to say probably ever since the beginning of 2004 is probably when his face turn started.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here when he became a face. Like Pro Wrestling database has. So October of 2002, he was a heel, and then it shows here November of 2004. Here we go. So he became a babyface on October 19th, 2003.
There we go.
And he was a babyface until February 28th, 2025. That's crazy.
What a time.
Yeah.
Like,
Man.
I can't think of anybody who has been a face for that long. Maybe Sting.
I mean, I would assume
because even Wolfpack Sting was still a face because the Wolfpack was a face faction. They weren't heels. NWO were the heels.
So what would that have been?
Offshoot.
87 to the last year?
Well, I don't know. Was he a face? Did he go heel at all in TNA?
Well, he was Joker, Sting.
Yeah, nobody liked him.
Was he part of the Millionaires Club?
He was part of the Millionaires Club, but the Millionaires Club was getting cheered, if you remember.
That's right. They were getting cheered. So he might be the only one. Maybe Ricky the Dragon Steamboat?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about Dragon after his WCW run.
Yeah.
Or after his return to WWF, I should say.
Because I know Ric Flair calls Steamboat the greatest babyface of all time.
I mean, I'll buy it. I mean, if Flair says it, and Flair would know, he'll tell you himself, I wrestled 60 minutes, Ricky Steamboat, all over this fucking country. He'll tell you that.
Yeah. So
Flair also said he was going to take out Cena to preserve his record. He's like, I'll stop taking the blood thinners and I'll stop you from getting 17.
Can I propose one guy who was basically, can we say Undertaker? I can't remember Taker ever really being booed.
He got booed when he attacked Jim Ross the day after Survivor Series 2001.
That's true.
Because that also led to him attacking JR. He cut his hair short, and then he beat the ever-loving piss out of Maven at the 2002 Royal Rumble.
That was deserved.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, he was a heel then. I mean, technically, the Ministry of Darkness was a heel faction.
That's true. Okay.
I mean,
in terms of consecutive years, I don't think Cena will be touched.
But even at that point, when Taker came back in 2004 as the Dead Man, actually, no, even before that, because even in 2003, he was a face because he faced Vince McMahon at Buried Alive match.
Yeah, for sure.
So Taker would have been from 2003 up until when he retired.
So that's 20 years.
Because nobody booed.
Right.
Well, I mean, they booed him at Crown Jewel, but had to be
right.
had to be done.
Right.
Missed it by this much.
It might be, look, it probably is the greatest babyface run of all time. I mean, there's no doubt. But yeah, that's just crazy to think about, man. A lot of fun times ahead for the for WrestleMania season, and we're looking forward to it. So
and Cena's not due for another appearance until March 17th. So 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks until he until he shows back up. Because I think he's filming something, and then once he's finished filming, then they got him.
Right.
The time. Because he's doing that European tour.
That's right. He is. Right.
But Randy Orton returns to SmackDown on Friday, and now I'm mad I didn't fucking buy a ticket to SmackDown.
You have time to get tickets to SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't want to now.
Now you don't want to. If Cena was there, you'd be all over it.
If Cena was there, I'd be in the parking lot trying to scalp.
All right, we're gonna start this week off with Monday Night Raw. So here we go. Raw versus Nitro, February 5th, 1996. Let's get this baby started. This is as usual, a taped show from Stockton, California. Your hosts are Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler, and we start off with another hot one, man. Shawn Michaels and Diesel, the dudes with attitude, versus British Bulldog and Yokozuna. Again, we talked about this for the last month or so. This is like that weird tweener stage for Diesel. Yoko's getting prepared, prep for a babyface turn that no one ever asked for. But Vince is pushing Shawn and Diesel here. What are your thoughts on this one here?
The booking of Diesel is like the booking of Lex Luger at this point.
I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, because at this point, I think it's known he's on his way out.
Yeah. I mean, not even that he's on his way out because Razor was the one who, I think his contract was up first.
I'm trying to see when did Nash give his notice to WWE.
Because Nash is going to be, because he's going to be on a collision course to Taker at WrestleMania.
Yep. So it looks like he gave his notice to the WWF. It says May of 96, but that doesn't make sense. Maybe it is. Maybe there wasn't a no compete at that time. I can't remember. But okay, yeah, for I guess argument's sake, it was then May. Okay, so maybe at this point, no, WWF did not know that Diesel was on his way out. Diesel probably had an idea that he was going to be heading out, but you're right though. The booking is just really weird with Diesel here.
It's like I want to cheer Diesel. Like I want to because I like Diesel, and after he dropped the belt to Brett, he's been on the collision course, just kind of taking people out. I'm like, this is cool. Like I'm kind of behind it. And then, hey, you're back with Shawn again. It's you had him on a collision course of just going through everybody, and then eventually you get to Taker because Taker doesn't want to join your side because Taker doesn't want to join anyone's side. He's Taker. Like fuck you, go to hell.
Right.
But it's just and then it's like, all right, hey, we're gonna put you back with Shawn because we ran out of ideas.
I mean, look, you get to the end here. A super kick puts Yoko on the floor for the count out at 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Shawn and Diesel are just completely goofing on the inspiring win. These are two guys who could not give any Fs at the point because
zero fucks because they're untouchable.
Oh yeah, they run the company. I guess for the most part, man, that match was reasonably entertaining. Cornette gives Yokozuna.
Yes,
Yokozuna. It's if Cena was a partner, they'd be Yoko Cena. So Cornette gives
that's
Yoko.
It. I'm making that tag team in 2K24.
Cornette gives Yokozuna the business, and Vince describes this on air as this Cornette verbally raping Yokozuna. For a little bit of foreshadowing there, I guess.
Vince.
And Yoko chases off the other heels, and now is all of a sudden the babyface.
Can I just bring something up real quick on Vince? And this was something I thought about, and I've been thinking about it for a few days now. Vince is one of the all-time best promoters, maybe one of the greatest promoters of all time. But holy shit, his fucking booking,
I know,
is terrible. Like it is the most hit and miss shit that you've ever seen.
I know.
It's like, dude,
it's really hard to get.
Thank God it got better.
And I mean, really, you got to thank Eric Bischoff for it getting better, because if there was no Eric Bischoff, dude, I shudder to we're probably still gonna at this point would have main events of Gobbledygooker going up against
good.
Terry Taylor or
It's a main that's a main event anywhere.
yeah, it's like I thank God for Eric Bischoff. I don't care if he sucked or not. The fact of the matter is he actually forced Vince McMahon to get outside of the bubble that he lived in and change things up, because you're right, man. It was I just don't understand it. We get a promo here, a vignette of Mankind. He's coming.
He's coming, all right.
Well, yeah, he's on his way. Next we have the 1, 2, 3 kid.
He's coming all the time.
Here we have the 1, 2, 3 kid, who, by the way, as I'm into 97 now of watching Nitro, is my least favorite member of the NWO ever.
You fucking shut your mouth, you whore.
Oh, he is so annoying. And he can't talk. His promos are awful.
You dare call him the worst member of the NWO while Vincent and Scott Norton are on the table?
Oh, I love me some Virgil.
I preferred him when he was called Shane in 2000.
1, 2, 3 kid versus Hakushi. Actually, a really good match.
Hell yeah, dude.
It was this was pretty stiff. I really enjoyed this match.
I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting this to just be dog shit and a half. I'm like, here we go. But that's like,
it was really good.
But I'm like, as I'm watching, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys have similar wrestling styles. This is gonna go great. But we're not ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it.
It always comes back.
That's basically what it is. They're like, people are like, aren't interested in the match. And then Vince is like, oh, I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it.
Oh, that's funny. After the match, we have Clarence Mason promises to sue if Vader isn't reinstated because he's got a case law.
You're damn right. Don't you dare go against Clarence Mason. He's got receipts, sir.
He's got receipts. Touch me and I'll sue.
Best lawyer I've seen since Jackie Childs.
Oh, I love that. I love that reference. So here we go. The main event of Monday Night Raw. We finally get a show where we have Bret Hart and The Undertaker. So here we are for the WWF title. I guess you can say that.
I'm gonna say
this wasn't great, man. What? This was rough. A really tough main event.
Listen, I love Bret and I love Taker, but I don't love Bret and Taker together. It just the two of them, unfortunately, just the chemistry was just off. It's weird because Taker can usually have a good match with anybody, and Bret can have a good match with anybody, but for some reason they didn't mesh well, and it was a rough watch. And the fact that it was a no contest was extremely disappointing because I expected to see a definitive winner. Because you could help Bret along by making him look like a strong champ by getting a clean win. But I guess at the same time, you don't want Undertaker to look weak because he's because he's the dead man, and you don't want the dead man to look weak. So you got to make him look a little bit. But there could have been a little bit more of a decisive victory. Maybe have Diesel come out and just kind of attack Taker, and then Bret gets kind of a cheap win. Mm-hmm. But it's a shame that it wasn't better. That's what the most disappointing thing is.
Yeah, I mean, this was really, really difficult to get through. I mean, Nash or Diesel's heavily involved here. He gets involved. He lays Taker out with a chair shot, power bombs him in the ring. Dude, this was really tough, man.
It's just it should have led to, instead of being a no contest, it could have just been, the referee was laid out and then Diesel did all that. But
right, of course. Yeah,
but it's no, we got to have a fucking no finish. God, I hate no finishes.
I really can't stand no finishes. I really can't stand it.
If
you're
gonna
stop edging me to death.
If you're gonna have if you're gonna have a no finish, have it part of a building storyline. Eventually, at a pay-per-view, Bret and Taker will finally meet, steel cage just to prevent any interference. But we know that's not happening because that's not what's on the horizon. What's on the horizon is Shawn and Bret. That's the match.
Yeah.
Like we don't know at this time in 1996, we don't know that Diesel and Taker are going to have a match at WrestleMania. We don't know that yet.
Right. Right.
We know it now because of 2025, and that event happened 29 years ago.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the main event of Raw is another billionaire Ted skit.
It's getting annoying at this point.
Yeah, this is bad. Billionaire Ted's press conference continues here despite legal threats from the Turner Group. Vince is a hero here. One of the questions is about how WCW lost millions of dollars, which isn't fair to the stockholders, also wasn't correct. Good thing nothing like that is happening, but what an embarrassment though as a fan. And it still took another year or so for Vince to, grow some balls, like we said, and improve his product instead of selling like a bitch here, man. Each week that these are being done, George, it makes Vince look more and more whiny.
It's one thing when the other side is taking a shot and then this side takes a shot.
Exactly.
Or, if you're trading the barbs back and forth, but WCW hasn't really mentioned anything about WWF.
Right.
In a couple of weeks, but Vince still keeps going at it because it's a joke. Because it's like a joke that only he finds funny, and since he's booking the show and he's doing everything, he's going to do it anyway. It's like, dude, this is an inside joke that's really only funny to you.
Agreed. Hey, thank God. And if you want to compare this to modern era, that's a good thing. It looks like the other company has completely backed off coming at WWE because that ship sailed and sunk long ago.
Because if you look at the timeline for how this has been playing out with the other company constantly poking the bear, well, if you poke the bear enough, eventually it's going to wake up. And when it woke up, it signed Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, Ethan Page, Andrade, Shawn Spears, and Alexis King. And they've all become champions in the time that they left AEW. So basically you've been doing this while creating tension backstage. Mm-hmm. You've lost the biggest names in your company. You can't grow any more talent. So now you have no choice but to just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I agree, man. This was just a tough show. Again, that main event had so much promise to me, and then watching it, I'm like, God, man, just let these two studs just go. Let them go.
Let them fucking go. You got two guys who blindfolded could work their way around that ring.
For sure.
Taker knows how many steps it takes to get from rope to rope. Brett knows holds upon holds. You got two guys who can call it in the ring on the fly and give you at the very least a 4-star match. Yeah. But no, you guys put your big fucking Vince spoon in there and mix things up and then add a drop of shit. Maybe Vince is doing all those segments because listen, pal, I got Clarence Mason as on retainer, so I can say whatever I want. I'm fine.
All right, that's Monday Night Raw. So let's go over to the live show now, which is where the big boys play, which is World Championship Wrestling. They are live from Lakeland, Florida. Eric Bischoff, Mongo McMichael, and Bobby the Brain Heenan are your announcers. And we've right off the bat, it's again second week in a row we've had a banger to start off. On paper. WCW World Heavyweight title, Randy Macho Man Savage, who is the champion, which if you ask WCW television, he doesn't exist as your champion, versus Chris Benoit. This might be probably the most depressing grouping I've seen on the show, with both guys and both, valets meeting rather, nasty ends. It's really hard to watch this show, this match, as so many years later. But thankfully in this match, I think the referee's still alive, right? I think the ref's still alive.
Who was the referee for that match?
Wasn't it Nick? I think it was Nick Patrick. He's still around.
It was Nick Patrick. Yeah, I think Nick Patrick.
I think it was Nick Patrick. I'll have to go back one more time and check.
Nobody else involved in this match was.
Yeah. Although this is a really good match, man. In terms of what we've seen and what they've put Macho Man a part of up to this point, all it takes is to give him a stud. And look, I'm sorry, it's been a long time, but fact of the matter was, in ring, in wrestling, I can't name you 5 better in-ring wrestlers than Chris Benoit. So, you put Macho Man in there with 1996 Chris Benoit, man. Whew, this was really good. There was a point, man, where there was a Miss Plancha that looked sick, like sickening. And of course, though, Hogan at the end, we all got to get our Hogan in the very beginning.
We got to get our Hogan in.
Yep.
How are the people going to know we are watching WCW Nitro if Hogan does not show up on the beginning of the show?
That's right. Hogan makes the
They don't even know what they're watching. Oh, is this NWA? Is this ECW?
Is this Baywatch?
Oh, is this AEW? I don't know what's happening. Oh, everyone's so lost and confused. But don't worry, Lord and Savior Hogan is coming out to help all of us. Ease your suffering.
It gets better for all of us. Hogan makes the save, proceeds to make the whole segment about himself as always.
Yeah.
But now Flair returns and beats the shit out of him too.
Right,
Giant comes in, he beats on Hogan with a chair, but Zodiac calls him off.
Some stupid fucking shit every goddamn week with this jerk off.
Which obviously foreshadows his turn back
watching.
to the booty man that literally no human being alive
is watching. I hope Ed Leslie, that no talent hack piece of shit, is watching. You scumbag.
Well, good luck to anything on Raw following the Zodiac.
Yeah. Yes. No. Nobody cares.
Yes. No. But yes, give me the booty man.
There was also the funny thing with all of this. There's been zero explanation on that.
Of course, there's not. There's not. There's never. Here's the explanation. Hogan's got to be on TV. Yeah. That's what this is in that era. Sans Hogan and the Zodiac or Booty Man, whatever, Flair, Giant, all the hogwash that usually happens with a WCW big match. What was your thoughts on Benoit versus Savage?
I will say this until the end of time. Whenever Randy Savage is champion, there should be no reason at all why he's winning anything by DQ. It should be pinfalls. This motherfucker never gets a pinfall when he's champion. He loses by pinfall.
Yeah.
In non-title matches.
Mm-hmm.
His wins are all by DQ. Yeah. Go fuck yourself. Make him look good for a change. And this would have been the time to do it. 96 Benoit is barely a fucking mid-carder.
I know.
He's in the Four Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
Get a clean pinfall on Benoit, then have all your bullshit happen.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, we got to have Randy win by DQ because God forbid someone cheers him and takes away Hogan's spotlight a hair.
Yep. Bingo. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's the only logical explanation.
Listen, I love Hogan. I respect him for what he did for the business. It's the whole reason why we even have a show is for the growth of the industry.
Yep.
But dude,
the ego.
Go fuck yourself is my whole point. Ethan Page calls himself all ego. He might as well call himself half ego compared to Hogan at this point.
Right. Brian Pillman and Arn Anderson versus Kevin Sullivan and Hugh Morris. Oof, this went 7.5 minutes, George. Why?
This went 7 minutes too long, sir.
This went 7 minutes and 23 seconds too long.
This should have just been what this should have been was not even a match at all and just a brawl in the ring.
Exactly.
Is what that should have been.
Yep. This was whatever. This was just so bullshit. I mean, it had a good shoot feel to it for most of it, which was pretty cool, but again, what you're saying is it was all pointless. It was all BS, man.
And this is early Hugh Morris. I mean, he's still pretty green here for the most part.
Yeah.
And awful doughy.
Yeah.
So the fact that he can even do that moonsault is a testament to his athletic ability because it's like, dude, nobody your size should be doing that.
Oh yeah, he cleaned house a couple times with some press slams. He looked pretty good.
I mean, he's good, but it's just like at this point, why do I care? And I like my Hugh Morris where he has like the question marks and like the laughing masks on his tights. Like play up the fact that your name is a pun.
Exactly. I agree. Next match is Ric Flair versus Marcus Bagwell.
No main event anywhere.
So, I don't mind. Ric Flair's had thousands and thousands and thousands of 4 to 5 star clinics. This would never be one of them.
This was not one of them.
Yeah, this was a sloppy match. I mean, parts of it were kind of fun. At the end, Flair gives the ref a nice smack in the mouth, and Randy Savage runs out for a brawl to the back. Man, I really feel bad here. I mean, obviously, we have a little bit of Paul Orndorff. It's a revenge plot here that was obviously just abruptly dropped. No explanation.
Yep. We don't see that. We don't see that shit again.
No.
We got 2 weeks of it, and we're done.
Can I just ask like this? And I'm obviously it's rhetorical, and you don't have to go on a big diatribe because I know you probably would want to. Why in February of '96 is Ric Flair wrestling Marcus Bagwell? Why?
Here's the only thing that I can put together to have this make sense is to give Rick a win going into Super Brawl. But at the same time, a win over Marcus Alexander Bagwell is not exactly a testament to you being world champion.
No, it's not. It's just
especially not. 1996 Bagwell.
Yeah,
he ain't even buff yet, and even when he is buff, that's not much of a fucking improvement.
No, that's not the stuff.
I mean, I said Hugh Morris was green, but shit, compared to buff Bagwell, he's Lou Thez.
Yeah,
like it's. I mean, and if you want to go one more, and on the following week, we get to see Scotty Riggs in solo action.
Yeah.
So, except his opponent isn't nearly close to the caliber of Ric Flair.
Yeah. I mean, so let's get to the main event here, which on paper looks amazing, but this was a complete and utter shit show, and I'm going to talk about it.
This was a clusterfuck, and I'm going to just let you roll because I know how you are just beyond disappointed with anything involving all 4 of these men right now.
Yeah. So look, let me just be real here. 8 years earlier, this match headlines a Starrcade. No doubt, tears the house down, headlines, a Starrcade or a Clash of the Champions, or even a Halloween Havoc. I'm pretty sure here Hawk is using What a Rush to open their theme music. Probably will earn WCW a letter from Titan's legal department. You get into the ring, man. Animal is no selling Sting. Animal is no selling Sting. But, Sting goes up for a flying body press, gets a 2 count. Hawk comes in. Luger tries a pile driver. Hawk, of course, ignores that. That was Luger's finish when he was world champion. Back to Sting and Hawk. Hawk hits him with a corner clothesline to take over. Animal comes in and Luger pulls down the top rope on him, and Animal is in peril. Luger chokes away and drops elbows, and we get a weird cut due to what was apparently a blackout in the building. Bischoff on air is blaming the WWF for sabotaging the show on commentary.
Yeah.
Could this get any stranger? Yes. Back with Sting holding a face lock.
As a matter of fact.
Luger power slams Animal. Jimmy Hart brings Lex a lead weight. He waffles Animal with it. And then the champs retain at 7 minutes and 35 seconds. This was a terrible, terrible match.
Why is Lex getting a lead weight when he has a titanium rod in his fucking arm?
Dude, man. I don't know. This was probably the weirdest show of the Monday Night Wars up to this point. But at this point in 1996 of February, I'm tired of seeing Sting and Luger together. Worse. I am done with the Road Warriors. Just done.
We are 2 weeks into having both of these guys back together on Nitro, and it has been 2 of the most disappointing weeks of these guys' careers.
For sure, man.
I mean, the sad thing is it's not going to get much better for this duo going going forward because we know what the future holds for both of them.
Oh yeah.
But they are not much longer in this company.
No, they're not.
And I think at this point, and I don't know the reason, so it's all speculation. But the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, they have prided themselves on just being the toughest guys in the room.
Yep.
So if they don't want to sell for you, they're not going to fucking sell for you. That's the whole reason why Cornette always makes that joke about the Young Bucks, or especially Matt Youngbuck, when he calls him Road Warrior Buck, because when he doesn't sell, it's like, yeah, why aren't you selling? Like, you're 5'7", soaking wet, 110 pounds. If Animal's not selling for you, it's like, all right, this is kind of believable. But when it's every fucking move, it's like, dude, something has to give at this point.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to pull this shit in Japan with Inoki. I'll tell you that. Sell for Inoki. Yeah. He's going to make your ass sell whether you want to or not.
I agree. And, we get to the end of the show, and all I keep thinking about is the disrespect towards Randy Savage. Kayfabe-wise, Savage at this time was probably, still really, really good in the ring. Despite, considering he would win his matches, getting his ass kicked for a majority of them. And, you wonder why his second run with the WWF title wasn't good. Maybe it's because fans didn't want to see the champ always getting his ass kicked. I don't want to see it.
That's been my thing. Like, when I say
he spent the entire 90s just selling.
Yeah. I mean, at times it did help some people. Like, it helped DDP immensely. But Savage and DDP also had massive respect for one another.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, because there was, I think it was one of the best of Nitros where DDP was, it was before they showed the match where DDP is dressed up as La Parka in one of the greatest Monday Night Raw or Monday Nitro matches of all time. But he's talking about how, like, he thanked Randy for everything he did to him. Like, he called him and left him a message on his answer machine. Hey, I want to thank you for everything you've done to me. I think he said he did it on Thanksgiving. He's like, we'll let you know how much I appreciate it. And like, Savage called him back and he's like, nobody has ever said that to me before. It really touched him. It's like, and you look at this and you're like, there's so much disrespect to this guy, all because one person feared losing a little bit of spotlight.
It's really all it is.
But he's also getting mixed cheers. He's getting mixed reactions when it comes out. It's like, dude, people aren't cheering for you due to your own accord, not because somebody else is a bigger star. It's you. It's your tired ass gimmick.
Yeah, man.
And this is Macho, who's been doing this gimmick for a while, but Macho connects with the fans.
Yeah. He also adapts his in-ring style. He can work.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll give you on the mat. And he'll high fly as well. Like, he was well-rounded. Hogan, you had to basically work within Hogan's parameters.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, Sean?
That's what it was. Right. Oh, God.
I'm sure Sean's listening.
I know.
Are you listening, Sean?
Nah. I'll get a text message.
He's not listening.
All right, so that wraps up this show. Nitro won the ratings war this week, a 2.9 to a 2.7. How the hell do you pick between these two shows, George?
Listen,
can we call this one a tie?
I'm calling it. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, they were both awful.
This may be the only time this ever happens that we have to give a clear-cut tie, or we just give them both losses and just fucking call it like that. Because
I agree.
Neither of these, they both had high points. High points being Benoit Savage, despite how it ended. And the tag match between the two dudes in Attitude and Davey Boy and Yoko. But also, that didn't end great either. That was a count. No. Honestly, the only fucking decent match between both of these shows, and it's so weird that it's even going to be said, is the 1-2-3 Kid and Hakushi.
You're right. That was the best. That was absolutely.
That was the best match of the week.
Oh my God. That's where we are as two companies right now in February of 96.
You tell Heartbreak that for once in his life, X-Pac has the best match on the week.
I can't wait. I can't wait to text that.
I'm gonna get an anonymous text message later. It's gonna be like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit." I'm like, "Ah, that's Walt. That's Waltman."
You're not Bill Goldberg, but you're still a piece of shit.
Oh, that must be Brett then.
Next week, like I said, no Raw, but we are going to cover 1996 Slamboree and a Monday Nitro. So next week will be a lot of WCW, which is great. We're looking forward to it. Thank you guys very much. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications when we're going to be live. That's George Rogers. I'm Christy Francesco, and we'll catch you guys down the road. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Take care.